Hey y'all, I hope this finds you well. I'm Burgess Taylor, or Journey with Burgess, and I talked about planning for my bullet journal that I'm going to be starting. It's going to be for June, July, August. We'll see how long it lasts, but it's going to be the B5 from Notebook Therapy. I'll show you a picture. But one of the things I wanted to talk about just for a few minutes is the bullet journal stuff. In Ryder Carroll's book, The Bullet Journal Method, in the portion that's called planning, he says this: you can't plan your way out of failure, but you can greatly increase the odds of success by doing a little legwork before you dive into your project. You'll ensure the best use of your time and resources if you pause to define the parameters and variables before figuring out how to structure a plan of action. Now, he also goes on to say, practice is what allows you to focus on what's important. It's how you learn what's important. The collections in a bullet journal are the sum of the bullet journal's parts, but in order to design a meaningful collection, you need to define the ingredients that you have to work with. I think that is also necessary for a bullet journal. If you are a bullet journaler, if you've been doing it for a while, then you know when you first start, there are all these things that you think that you need. Well, when I was planning this out, I planned it on large index cards. And I've already realized that writing index doesn't really work for me. Because when you open up a book, especially if it's a research book or an information book or some of the books that I have, in the front it usually says contents and in the back it says index. And the contents lays out the order in which things go. And in the index, you look back and you can tell what page something is on. You look it up by a word. So to me, the contents are at the front and the index is at the back. So anyway, one of the other things I've realized is that, I think I mentioned this in the video, is that the future log, the way that I had it on the index cards, isn't really going to work. And I talk about that in the video. I just figured I'd give you a heads up, and we're going to talk some more during the watercoloring portion of this. And I am going to be talking about some of what I'm planning on doing for the summer, and I'm pretty excited about it. So let's just get started. So I talked about in the prior video how I was going to be setting up a bullet journal. So one of the things that I've been doing has been figuring out what I'm doing. So this would be like the actual journal. These are large blank index cards. So here, there's a sticker on Etsy. I put it in my journals before. It says, in a world full of fish, be a shark. And then I have the index. And then future logs. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it this way or if I'm going to do calendars and split up like 1, 2, 3, 4 with like a log. I'm not sure. I'm debating on that. And then I have mood, pain, sleep, and energy tracker for the year, rest of the year. So we're talking June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So I've got a reading log, suggested reading, did I start, did I finish, and what my score is, my to buy list. And then I think I will also put like over here, if it's an Audible book, if I'm listening to it, I will put an A or a K if it's a Kindle book or an Audible book. If it's a regular book, I won't have anything. So then we get to coffee chat ideas, video ideas. And then I have some blank pages. And then I have June, and I wrote turtles or beach. And then we have a calendar, and I have 7x7 squares. And then I have what will be probably the log. I've been thinking about how I want to do the bullet journal setup. And I thought, since I haven't done a lot of watercolor with me, that we do some watercolor with me's. I've drawn out in pencil some turtles because I thought June might be a good month. And I measured this to the Notebook Therapy B5 that I have. That's my spiritual journal. This is mixed media paper from Strathmore. And I thought we'd start with this. I'm going to color the eye. And then I thought we'd watercolor a bit because I haven't really done very much of that. I want to do some watercoloring. I thought this might be a really good way to kind of do some of that. It would be fun. So while I'm watercoloring, I thought we'd talk for a few minutes about some of the things that I've learned over the years with bullet journaling. While I'm waiting on the notebook, planning it out makes sense to me. It's how I'm going to figure out what I really want, what I really need. I'm still using my Hobonichi cousin. As a matter of fact, I have this planned out in it, but I'm realizing that I need a little bit more. This is working well for our family stuff, for my personal stuff, doctor's appointments and that kind of thing. But it's not working out so well for planning out coffee chats, or I'm having to go into separate things. And I really don't want to have to do that. I want everything that I'm doing for work and YouTube, Patreon, my blog, which I've been remiss in, but we were on vacation. For a lot of different things, I want those things all in one place. So if I'm planning out a video or a blog post, or if I'm planning out, say, a coffee chat, or I'm planning out something, or I'm doing some stuff for the doctor, it's a little bit easier to look at the spread in the bullet journal for tracking and stuff than it is in the Hobonichi. I just thought that it might be better, and it's been a long time since I've been in a bullet journal or in an Omni journal. I'm going to have a bit of everything. Not everything, but a whole lot of things in this. So it's, in a way, it's definitely going to be sort of an Omni journal. Going simple until you get used to it. So I'm not going to put a lot of collections. My reading collection, my video ideas, coffee chat ideas, some of that. I'm going to start with what I definitely know I need, and then as things progress, I'll add some. One of the things I've realized from prior bullet journals is that less is more. And that's one of the reasons I'm not adding a lot of collections. It's one of the reasons why when it comes to some of the setup, I'm not putting a whole lot of stuff in it to begin with. I'm going to figure out how I want things, how I need things, because sometimes what I want is not necessarily what I need. So I thought that would be very helpful. One of the other things to remember is that you don't need a lot of fancy stuff. And if you have a bullet journal, if you have a notebook and the notebook isn't all that great for, say, watercolor, and you really want to do watercolor, you can do watercolor on mixed media paper. That's what I'm doing the watercolor on in this video, is Strathmore mixed media paper. The essentials to me for a bullet journal would be post-it notes, because I put post-it notes down to begin with to kind of figure things out, or have it on scratch paper or on, say, like an index card. Something so that you can kind of figure things out, do stuff in pencil if you're not sure, so that you can erase it if you need to. And speaking of erasing, you probably want to maybe get some correction tape or some whiteout, or like a Posca white marker or a white gel pen or something like that. I like also having a gray marker. I have several different kinds of gray markers, from Crayola Super Tips to the mild liners to the Zig clean color dot markers, to all different kinds. But Crayola Super Tips work really well, and they got all different kinds of shades of grays, y'all. But I think the biggest thing for me that I learned with bullet journaling is that reflection is a must. If you aren't reflecting on what works and what doesn't work, so you can figure out how to continue with what you're doing, then you're going to have issues. It's just going to be a bunch of to-dos, and that's not, it is and isn't productive. I mean, I don't know about you, but seems like some days my to-do list is a mile long, and then other days I don't even put a to-do list. I'm just running off of things I've already put on a to-do list that I didn't get done before because I didn't have time. Reflection helps me figure out where I'm wasting time, what worked, what didn't work, maybe where I want to move forward, maybe what I want to let go of that wasn't working, and that kind of thing. And reflection is really good to clear your head as well. It kind of gets you in that mind space of, okay, these things where you can look back on your pages and go, this was working, but why did I put that in there again? Because I didn't even use it. Or why did I keep migrating that over and over and over again? And I still haven't got it done. You know, what am I waiting on? Is it something I actually need to do? You know, and if it is something I really need to do and I'm procrastinating, why am I procrastinating? And I think those kinds of things are very helpful. I have been using a bullet journal, Omni journal, Hobonichi, Fobonichi kind of thing since 2015. I remember that first One Book July, and we were doing the one book, the one pen, you know, and it was like all, and I started this little black, I think, was that the year? Or did I start that the next year when I did One Book July? I can't remember now, but I ended up changing things because I tend to be heavy-handed when it comes to watercolor. I'm better than I was in 2015, 2016, but I still tend to be heavy-handed when it comes to watercolor. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I am still getting better at my skill and technique, and it's something that I'm working on. It takes patience, and I'm not very patient. So when I was watercoloring these, I did pause and go back. I did work on several different ones at different times. I went to one, then I went to another. What you don't see in this is that I went back multiple times and added layers and things because I wanted to take my time with it. And one, I didn't want to pill the paper. Because believe it or not, mixed media paper, even watercolor paper, if you work it too hard, and I know this, you can pill the paper. One of the things that I had to remind myself of when I started to plan out this bullet journal is that I have always put a lot of various things, creative things, bits into my journals. Whether it's my planner or my text journal or my art journal or my document my day, I add bits to everything. I will sit, and when I'm taking notes, I will doodle. I will see something from the day or whatever, and I will put it down. It's how I am. I'm always doing that. And it's why I fill up journals so quickly. It's why for a long time I took a hiatus with the Omni Journal, because within less than a month I could have 100 pages. And I really don't like the to-dos on my journal pages. I don't mind journaling on my to-do pages. So it depends on my mindset. So it depends on my mindset. So if I'm thinking about this as more of a bullet journal, Omni journal, then the journaling is just adding to the to-do kind of thing. We'll see. And it's a B5, so I'm going to have plenty of room to add bits and things like that. So I'm not stressing about any of it. One of the things that I am a bit stressed out over is the status of our ocean. June is all about World Ocean Day, which is on June the 8th, and World Sea Turtle Day, which is June 16th. Now we do have National Turtle Day, which is May 23rd. And what a lot of people don't know is that these wonderful, beautiful, amazing ancient creatures, every year, female turtles travel this massive journey and haul themselves out of the water and onto land to their nesting sites to lay their eggs and bury them and then go back out to sea. Now, when they do that, the eggs are extremely vulnerable. They're vulnerable from poachers who want to get them and eat them or sell them. Not good. Another thing that's really upsetting to the environment, and it affects our sea creatures like sea turtles and others, is that over 100 million marine animals die every year as a result of eating or getting tangled up in plastic. Plastic. For example, a plastic bag floating in the ocean looks like a jellyfish to a turtle, and that's one of the things that they eat, and they can't digest plastic. So another thing that endangers sea turtles along with other sea creatures are coastal development, ocean pollution, entanglements in fishing gear, being caught up in their nets, being bycatch, or just getting caught in like different nets and then not being able to get untangled from them. The turtle shell trade, tortoise shell glasses and jewelry and stuff, it's a big thing, and those turtles are very endangered. The ones with those beautiful shells that people get the tortoise shell glasses from, and the jewelry and stuff. And then climate change. During June, I'm going to be concentrating on turtles. During July, I'm going to be concentrating on orcas, killer whales. They are still being caught, some killed, to be captured to sell for exorbitant amounts of money. And then in August, I'm going to be concentrating on sharks. Shark Week happens to be in August, and people are still killing sharks for their fins, for fin soup and stuff. and for the sport of it. Hopefully things have been a little bit better over the past year and a half since, unfortunately for us, the dumpster fire year has actually been pretty decent, we hope, for animals, especially in the ocean. So we're going to be, maybe I'll do in the wintertime, winter animals, and then maybe we'll continue with sort of the saving the earth and, all of its glory, the ocean and everything else, endangered animals, different themes throughout the year. But over the summer, I'm going to be concentrating on saving the ocean and some of the creatures that live in the ocean. So I hope that you enjoyed this. Pre-planning for my bullet journal, one, has helped me organize some of my thoughts, and two, has helped me kind of figure out what I want and, more importantly, what I need from a bullet journal. Because like I said, I have the Hobonichi Cousin for our home and personal and stuff like that planner, but I needed something just a little bit more organized and a little bit more freeform than the Hobonichi, and I've been missing bullet journaling. I'll see y'all again really soon. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the little notification bell if you haven't already, to hit the like button, or I guess the dislike. And if you can, share or comment, because either or both of those help the channel be seen so that it can be recommended to other people, and hopefully somebody else will find some inspiration. And if you could, please let me know in the comments what you'd be interested in seeing while I'm in this process of planning out the bullet journal, and then I'll be unboxing the notebook and the other stuff I got, and then we'll be setting up the bullet journal, and I'm going to be doing weekly videos that kind of catch up on, hey, this is what's working, this is what's not working, maybe the setups and different things like that. So we'll review and reflect on the week before, or the setup itself and things like that. I'd like to make this a regular thing and then fit coffee chats in when I can. I think that would be a great thing, because there are a lot of beginner bullet journals out there and a lot of intermediate people, and people like me who maybe have been using the bullet journal but have paused and taken a hiatus from it, or who just enjoy my chatty kind of content. So I'll see y'all again really soon. Thanks y'all so much for being here. Bye. Have a good one.